December 9th. Order. Roll call. Schmickler.
Here.
Ready?
Here.
Mitchell. Here.
Edward. Here. Geo.
Here.
Miller.
Here. Under the is their line. Six there.
Father, we give thanks for being here tonight. We give thanks for our Safe Christmas at the Village program and absence of any kind of injury or death. And we ask that you guide us in the business of the village of Roscommon. Amen.
That said, be 1.25 approval of absence. Can I get approval to excuse Brian Ludwig? He's taking a final exam tonight. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Next be approval of consent agenda.
Making a motion to approve the consent agenda with bill to be paid at the amount of $4,406.04.
Can I get a second on that, please?
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
I just got a quick question. Looking at the planning commission meetings, point to, zoning ordinance changes, point 1 and 2. I just was curious why those were passed without going through the proper, the public procedures of, public notice and all of that.
Those are to come in notice.
Okay, so that was.
What they had actually passed was to pursue changing the zoning, go ahead with it, and so they know there's a public hearing coming up. We have both to send letters, go with those changes. They just approved it to yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, any more discussion? If not, we'll call please.
Miller,
Yes.
Ready? Yes. Mitchell,
Yes.
Michael, yes. Edward, yes. Tebow.
Yes. Okay. Next item will be approval of regular agenda. May I get a motion on that, please? Make a motion to approve the regular agenda as type. Got a first, can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Got a first, second, any discussion? If none, roll call please.
Ready? Yes. Edward, yes. Mitchell,
Yes.
Tebow,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Michael, yes.
Number 4, manager's report.
Thank you, Mike. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight, on this beautiful summer evening. I'd like to start off by words just can't say enough when the gratitude we have to several committees that all work together in partnership for big Christmas in the Village program. The Christmas in the Village committee, first of all, you know, they're out there morning, noon, and night, putting up letters, and straightening up lights and getting barricades around and doing all sorts of work. The Mark Constance by making arrangements for the Santa train coming in every year. That's priceless. Roscommon Rotary, they turn on the Afterglow, plus to make a donation towards the Christmas in the Village. The Roscommon Area Recreational Authority, they allow us to use a news center. They put on a 5K run. They worked with the craft center. We got different kids activities going on in there. The sheriff department for all of our demands as far as we need to have taken care of, and some district advise, and they really take the time to have some meetings ahead of time to make sure we're all on the same page as far as what it's going to look like. Village DPW, you know, Doug, you guys do an amazing job, and I know the weather this last week has not always been the best, but when I said I need this done and that done, and you guys have said, okay, well, we got it, and so I really appreciate that a lot. But this community, one of the things that I love about this community is the number of volunteers. People just are willing to give up their time, give up their talents, and I think that's the main thing that makes our community unique, compared to some communities. We're very tight knit community. If someone needs help, there's always people stepping up. So I just can't thank everyone enough. So it was a tremendous show, a tremendous party, and I've heard so many compliments, even the Children's Assessment Center having the trees here. And today we were lucky enough that people would come in and pick up the trees that they have wanted, and just the comments that they have had, that we overheard them say as far as it was so much fun, we loved it, and we'll come back, maybe next year and stuff like that. So again, we all deserve a pat on the back for that. The Saddle River Center, you may have noticed it's been kind of stagnant for a couple weeks now. The week before the trusses to come in, they should be in this week, I'm being told. Once those trusses come in and they get those all set, then they can, finish the sheeting, get the work done, and being that it's for pavilion, that's going to be the big part of it. But they still are looking at continuing that and getting it done sooner versus later. So then we'll have to do some more landscaping probably in the spring, because on one side we get sold, we need to plant some grass and do a few things like that. But the construction part shouldn't take off as we move forward to.
I'm of the impression now, that's not gonna be a heated building. I'm just wondering,
The DPA had talked about getting some type of lines, if you will, that roll down, to keep the wind out and if the weather's bad. If we get to that point, then we may be bringing some portable heaters in there if that's the case, but no, the bar is running any type of duct work and stuff like that. We're gonna run some electrical through there for some lighting and some plugs, and that's it.
okay, interesting.
Hiawatha. Who would believe on the 12th of December, we're pouring cement, but the Hiawatha project has taken off. They saw a little break in the weather yesterday and today, and gave them enough time to have it inspected, and they had to pack it full of sand, compact it, harden up, and then have that inspected, and then from there pour the floor. So they have blankets over it, kind of to keep it warmer for so that it's not secure. And once that is done, then they're gonna start going up with the walls and the ceiling and and stuff like that, and that permanently pretty much tarp in so they can heat it in there and keep it warmer and get that done during the winter months. The outside painting and some of that stuff you'll have to wait till the spring. The dock, kayak dock, that's gonna be put in the spring. They may be putting in some of the railing and some of the decks they have and stuff like that. It's kind of dependent on the weather basically. So it's coming along nice. I spoke with Anthony Soto, gentleman that we've been in contact with in regards to our PA system here. I think the request was, may have been like about if there's a way that we can try the system out before we purchase it, because it is a $4,000 purchase. Anthony said, well, let me contact company to see if that's a possibility or not. He goes, I know there's warranties on that. In order to even try it out, I still got to run the wires, so there would be some costs involved just to try it out, So he was gonna check it out, and between my schedule and then we didn't make contact before tonight. So I'll follow up on that, see if that's a possibility. Master plan, we are in our 63-day period. The plan commission will have to host a public hearing to gather any more input on the master plan. Once that's posted and that's done, the planning commission will have, after a public hearing, at their next meeting, they'll make a clear recommendation for you to approve the 2025 to 2029 master plan. And then they will, send that your way. It will probably be, I think Jim and I said, probably by the time it gets, the council, so we will be dealing with that. I think I told you last month about our Christmas decorations. How the company had gone out of business and so as a last minute pitch, we bought those bulbs, Doug and his crew went through and put 40, no.
We have, I think it's about 34 up right now, but we have 40 more. Like, that's
So we're gonna pull bulbs throughout the village, with the garland that's lit on poles. Frankly, I thought that decoration wasn't enough. It looked good, and it's a lot cheaper than going and purchasing any of the big decorative, bells or paintings or whatever, and storing them and maintaining them. And so, the Christmas in the village, I think they're sold on. Let's just keep it simple and keep it going like that, something that we control and good. And we got a lot to go through tonight, so that's all I have right now.
Any questions for Mr. Alvin?
And do we know if there's another facility nearby or one that uses that system already that we could watch? Or, if there's any,
I can ask Anthony that.
maybe that would be an easier route to bring it in and take it out if we don't like it.
Great.
And my only other question, last month, the MEDC, that fund change, did that get figured out? Ever been?
Today, we got notice last week that, there's been 4 payouts, okay? And so we made the 3rd payout, and then after 30 days, we reimbursed for that. And give us enough money to pay for the 4th payout that was already put in, $179,000 here. And we got notice late last week that money's coming. And today it arrived where we put it in the bank, and so everything's paid up to date. Good. Yeah.
Okay, any more questions for Mr. Alvin? If not, we'll go to public announcement on agenda items only. 2 minutes per speaker. Okay. We'll move on to unfinished business. TPW report. Bill.
Good evening, everyone. Not a whole lot for tonight to report back, but permit for the wastewater treatment plants has been approved by Eagle and will now be effective as of December 1st, 2024. Goes through midnight of October 1st, 2028. We're in the process of submitting wastewater treatment plant facility monitoring program, which is our monthly operating reports. There's been some changes on that with what was done in the past. I'm working with this branch right now. Give us a little bit of figure out what new changes are. And we have told us for the first to get that picture. The land project, I think you guys are mostly all aware of this. It's a state mandate program that we have to go around material inventory on our years when it's coming in and out. Galvanized pipe, when is it? With land, we get reimbursed if we complete so many of them. The paperwork has to be submitted by December 15th, so we'll be turning that in as well. What I submitted to you guys today is actually, we did another one this afternoon, so we now have 46 out of the 54 that were completed. We're well above the percentage that we needed to get our money for the grant, which is going to be $3,000 that they will reimburse us for having those inspections done. I had to do them regardless, but with that grant that pays tonnage for the village back. One of the pretty happy with. We had started looking into, currently we've been using copper tubing to go from the curb stops to the home. They've looked into, a lot of the contractors are using it's HDPE, high density polyethylene line, similar to PEX, I think, if you know of it. So we looked into it and it's completely acceptable. And so I've already bought 3 rolls of that. They just purchased 1 roll of copper. A roll of 100 foot of copper costs, $840. The roll of 100 foot of this high density pipe is $36. So it's pretty significant savings. And then we're going to go and start making some of these updates and stuff in the sense, so that should be a significant savings from the village. Only other thing that I have, and I kind of talked about it already, we've installed 34 on color changing LED bulb. Right now, they're all set for the Christmas colors. They'll be going to green, I'm pretty sure, pretty soon. After Christmas, and then if you put them back white, you can do whatever color you want. But I think if you saw when they were set at the white setting, they're not as bright as what they call horn lamps that are currently in the other pictures. But I think it's going to be plenty of light for what we need. So the goal will be, we're going to get all of them switched over as time limit permits into these bulbs, and there's a significant saving. It's $77 for those corn bulbs, and it's $7.50 for these LED bulbs. So, any questions for me on anything? Or
I'm not lying. Next line, you're gonna buy a tool for that to assemble that or
it's the
anything?
same brass conversion heating that we use from Kemper. And those are $76 these.
Yeah,
First one.
that's all we all to that tool. That's what I'm trying to do.
So, I took a couple pictures of my water meters and now, will you be able to determine from photographs, like
I was able to on yours, yes.
needs to be replaced or anything, or?
Well, what we have to report right now is if it's lead, which we have, it's gonna be lead pipe anywhere in the village, I expect. Galvanized, copper would be the preferred, that would block. It's galvanized, my understanding at this point. At some point, we will start to replace those galvanized fittings. And replace those with either copper or probably plastic,
There's copper and galvanized around my house.
Yeah. The galvanized is okay, but the fear, I guess, is that over time that can break down. Yeah. And it starts to become a problem, so they would prefer either copper or the plastic. Any other thing?
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you. Welcome to all the new council members. Congratulations on your reelection and for a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you, Doug, me too. Next is Economic Director Report, Mr. Carrio. Jim, that is. Good. That's it.
Yeah, which one?
Both done for y'all today.
I get to go before my father. This doesn't happen very often, so. As Ron said, Christmas in the village, awesome. Saw everybody here in attendance, out on the streets at some point. Probably, obviously we don't quantify and count people, but it looked like we had one of our biggest crowds ever in the history of Christmas in the village. And so kudos to the committee and the entire community for showing out, which means that Shamrock Drop was on deck. And we expect to fill the town again on New Year's Eve. We have the new posters, and if you are a business owner or somebody else that has an office that you go to and you can hang one of these up, please have these around, and we'll just have you folks grab some of these on the way out if you great. I think I mentioned this last time. Sky High Gymnastics. We had gone back and forth whether, for the more mature crowd, should we do an earlier Shamrock Drop so they don't have to stay up till midnight, and for the kids and so on and so forth. But in Ireland, midnight is 7 p.m. here Eastern time, and so Sky High Gymnastics is going to do an early Irish kids drop in their gymnasium. And so, both kids and adults will be welcome if they want to see a pinata, Shamrock pinata. Come down, and the kids are gonna beat the heck out of it.
Uh, my hometown of Dillsburg, Pennsylvania is Irish, named after Matthew Dill, who settled there in 1735. They started a dill pickle drop. We don't raise dill pickles there, but they started a dill pickle drop in 1990 or thereabouts. It's just like us, but that comes down at that 7 o'clock time.
Oh, it does.
Yes, I don't, I'll check that out for sure, but
I'll have to reach out to those folks and see how that.
you're gonna be within 11 miles of Dillsburg.
It's okay, Wednesday. I'm pick up some kegs, so. Carl.
Carl, man.
Moving on, the social district permit Michigan Liquor Control Board approved. We can actually theoretically open the social district tomorrow if we wanted to. But we're looking at doing this at the right time, so possibly, maybe align it with the opening of a certain brewery in town, but we'll see how that works. The fellowship position that through Community Economic Development Association of Michigan, CDEM, we've gone through the interview process down to final two. Although the village we had input all the way through that process. When it came down to the final two, CDEM makes the final decision, and is going to let us know probably tomorrow whether that position has been filled. This person will be with us for 15 months. Doing projects like public art and wayfinding signage and bicycle infrastructure. Some of the things, the other one that we just recently added, part of my report here is, I'll jump right to that right now, is Dan Scow wanted to bring back the sister city designation with Roscommon, Ireland. And whether it's some of those folks come here or some of our folks go there, exchange keys, do like a sister city program. So we're going to be exploring that with our economic development fellowship person. The Match on Main MEDC grants are being renewed. Again, they used to be a 2-year, twice per year, $25,000 business grant. They're only once a year now, but that's going to open up in January. If you know anybody that wants to attempt to get a $25,000 business grant, have them reach out to me. I'll help them write the paperwork and submit that. The deadline will be April, but in January I'll be rolling out more information as I get more information. The Housing Task Force continues to work on housing. Ron and I spoke with a group of local contractors last week who are interested. They've heard about this Redstone project, which is a larger corporation interested in that M18 property across from Lear. And so if we could possibly make this, okay, you've got this big company that's going to put up 60 units, but can we involve our local developers as well for the rest of that property? And so we're talking to that end. We'll see how that turns out. So a lot of moving pieces with that particular goal. Lastly, I mentioned the person working in the fellowship is going to deal with one of the projects is public art. We talked about that different times. It's a big topic at the DDA meetings, and so I believe Dana, are you on the first art? There were some people that we go out of the council meetings that are serving on the DDA's public art committee. What I'm trying to say is they're looking for interested people that having some input with regards to statues, murals, etc. Please reach out to me and then we'll put you in contact with the public art. That's all I have today.
Any questions from Mr. Jim Carriel?
Are you able to share the final two or local or? one
Final
of each?
two were local, but number two doesn't know who that person We can't tell you, yeah. No, great, I don't know if they've reached out to, the final two doesn't necessarily know
No, they're in the
how the
final.
final two go. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jim Perry. Next is our ordinance compliance consultant, Steve Perry.
I will have a try. Now, as I hobble up here, I think in the past, folks, I told you my nickname was Uncle Steve, right? You heard that? Some of you anyway? I've got a new nickname. We're gonna guess. Anyway. Real good. I like the way they're not cooperating, the nerves with damage and surgery, they're just not cooperating, so. We'll see how it goes a year from now, but anyway. I appreciate this opportunity, Ron, you told me to keep it short, I'm done, Ron. Quick background information, what's happened the last year, I started in November, I finished November 15th of this year. Ron and I sat and we go, why are we doing this in the wintertime? Spending money, people aren't gonna cut grass, not gonna fix houses. Let's just keep lists, but we don't need to be doing this and spending money, so. I'll hopefully see you in the spring when the weather breaks. But we had a very successful year, I believe. Because I can honestly stand here in front of this group and say, we have had zero. I'm going to use that term again, zero people not willing to cooperate with it. And that is fantastic to talk about a community. We've had some people that said, well, if he does it or she does it, I'll do it. Our response was, you're joking. You know, we've had tremendous response from our business. One of the things that Ron and I decided early in the game was he started them, let's let Ron finish them. That introduced somebody else working with the business. And as you all notice, the businesses in town that needed a little help have been given a lot of help, and every single one of them has done a fantastic job, and no one has complained. One business did complain. They felt that Ron's baseball bat was a little bit too large, but they understood. Other than that, all of the citizens in town cooperated. I couldn't have asked for more cooperation from the office, from Ron and everybody else involved. So I want to thank you, made my year and a half, or my year and a half a month, very, very enjoyable. And it's great to have an office where nobody knows where the hell you are. Since my dog loves that too. Good, you're the kitchen. Any questions? I'll try to answer, but I just can't give locations or names.
I just can't say enough of, how much time that Steve put into this position. I'd call Steve in and say, hey, we need to go talk about this. Yep, I was there this morning. You know, they're gonna do this and this, and like I said, sometimes chasing blight around is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So, you know, if you get something cleaned up this week, it looks great. You feel that celebration, and 2 weeks later it's back, you know, but it's just a constant, battle. Steve has done an amazing job. I don't even want to begin to know how many miles you logged, just, going around and checking, you know, everyone out, but there was nothing that I could throw at Steve, you need to look at this, that he hadn't already been there. So I want to thank you, Steve, for your devotion to help with this. It's not easy.
Well, I want to continue enjoying it. Because I have adopted, as you may or may not know, I live in Roscommon now. This is my hometown. And a hell of a nice hometown. Thank you all.
Thanks, Steve. Did great job. Good work. Okay, next item is Hiawatha Park project update.
Well, I guess I already gave that in my manager report, but they're moving right along. And again, they wanted, different bathroom, floor today, and they want to, rub it in and work on that for the winter months, and seeing how many of these little tasks they can knock out, so they don't have as much to do this spring, so the crew's working right along with a nice job.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Alden on Hiawatha? If not, we'll move on to the next, which is the Irish Kill permit.
This may look familiar. A couple months ago, I think it was 2 months ago, this council approved the Irish Kill, permit for serving, beer and wine. But what happened when that building across the street started to get a little bit more near completed, they needed addresses. And so each business had their own address, so we had to change the address on our permit, and so that's why it's back in front of you tonight to pass that resolution to approve the Irish Kill for the beer and wine license.
Can I get a motion to accept the address change for Irish Kill?
Maybe first. There's still, premises facing unit.
I'll second. Got first, second. Any more discussion? If not, roll call please. Bishop. Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Randall? Yes. Edward? Yes. Miller?
Yes.
Hugh?
Yes. Okay. Second will be capital improvement plan.
Okay, a couple months ago, I gave you a copy of our capital improvement plans and some of the suggestions after any input. I met with DPW, talk about water and sewer, roads, equipment, things like that. Every year, this capital improvement plan by law, we have to add a year on there. So it's a 5 or 6 year plan. And the hard part, and when you look at trying to project 5 or 6 years from now, is trying to figure out the funding. We are in a position that I don't want to become grant poor. Grants us for 25% or 50% or something like this. So some of the long term, certainly housing is in there, infrastructure is in there, those types of things, and maybe some of the equipment's in there. But the longer term projects, to put anything that big in there, not knowing where we're going to be at funding wise. But it's something that we can always add as time gets closer. But if we have something in there, you can't take it out. You can tweak it, if you will. But when we did that USDA grant, the $13 million project, that took care of 67% of everything that was in the first infrastructure. So we're in a good place. And so we have a nice problem, to look at now as far as, we have infrastructure done, and there's so much we have to do. There's actually 8 to 10,000 feet of 4-inch pipe that we want to change to 8 or 10 inch pipe, and there's a couple of generators we're still waiting to get up and running and such. So there's things we can add, but as far as taking on a major project at this time, I'd like to secure funding first, know that we're gonna get the grant before we get to the list. So, asking for you to approve the improvement plan for the Newton 2025.
Can I get a motion to approve the 2025 village improvement plan resolution, please? I'll make that motion. I got a first, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Got a first, second? Any discussion? If not, roll call please.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Racco? Yes. Keel?
Yes.
Edward? Yes. Yes.
Let's start up here. Number 7, new business, village clerk wages.
Okay, every 2 years, the clerks and treasurer wages come before the board. And in the last few years, we have presented both years at one time. I am proposing the clerk's wages for 2025. be set at $21,840, and that's for the clerk's responsibilities, duties at the village clerk. She also works an additional 20 hours a week, so it's a 40-hour week position. Half the time is devoted for clerk, and half the time is devoted for, let's say, the duties that I assign. You might think, well, why do you do that? A clerk and a treasurer, Fran, close your eyes, close your ears. They're their own boss. They're their own boss. They say, hey, all I'm doing is from home. Nothing we can do to stop them legally, okay? So by splitting that position into hours, at least I know Fran's gonna be here. We're gonna see Fran and we're gonna work in the office, to get things taken care of. A couple of clerks ago, there was some hard feelings or whatever, and we didn't see the person until the night of council meetings. And so we were always trying to guess, well, was this entered in the budget? Was this taken care of? It was not a really good way to do business. And so Fran does an amazing job. She deserves everything that she gets. But I asked for your approval for 2025, the first rate at $21,840. And for 2026, it's $22,880.
Can I get a motion to approve the village clerk's wage of $21,840 for 2025 and $22,880 for village clerk for 2026?
I make a motion to approve the 2025 wages for the village clerk for the total of 21,840, and for 2026, a total of 22,880.
Can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
Got a first and a second, any discussion?
I was looking this up today, and I just want to make sure everything was fine, and there was some company that had this on Google. And they said that being a village clerk is not a good place to be. Really, I mean, it's amazing. It said the average wage is like $21 an hour. And they listed it starts at $12 an hour. At the middle of the road is like, well, I don't know what this figures out to per hour, but the only people that seem to be, they even had, but it was a mess because they had cities confused with villages. They listed Grand Rapids and Detroit. And so when I came away from that, I didn't know any more than I did when I started. The only thing that I did get out of it was that being a village clerk is not an attractive meeting place. You're not going to go anywhere. But I know Fran is a worker. She worked for me many years ago, and she's a worker. And so, yeah.
There's a lot of responsibility in that job.
Yes.
Besides, keeping track of the books and stuff like this, but there's also the cemetery and the minutes and everything else, and keeping ordinances in line and any changes in the bank. And Fran does an amazing job, and we're very fortunate to have her. I had to talk her into running again this last time, but it's a position that you just don't want to have to bring someone in. Where do you start with someone that just is? Yeah. Break someone in. So,
And there were about 300,000 people that ran against you in this last election. Okay, that's all.
Any more discussion? The clerk, if not, roll call please.
Right, yes. Michael?
Yes.
Woman?
Yes.
Bishop?
Yes.
Keyhoe?
Yes.
And Ed,
Yes.
thank you all. That's
Okay, next item is village treasurer wage.
the village treasurer does not work, all the hours that the other ladies in the office do. She roughly works 3 or 4 hours a day. Again, her being an elected official, she's her own boss. She wants to say, hey, I just want to come in and work during tax season. She could, or if she wanted to collect taxes from home, she could, but Jan, is very devoted and wants to come in every day. And there's days,
that she'll come in and just say, well, what else can I do? What else, we have for us to do to help? So it's a good working group that we have. What I'm proposing for our village treasurer was for the 2025 season, we paid her $11,000 for processing and collecting taxes. And for 2026, we paid her $12,000.
Okay, can I get a motion to pay the village treasurer $11,000 for 2025 wages for collection of taxes, and for 2026 of $12,000?
I'll make that motion.
You got a first, can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
First, second, any discussion?
I have just one thing to say that many years ago, there were townships around here that don't exist anymore. As the population has decreased, they couldn't find anybody who knew how to do these jobs. I mean, they had bookkeeping, just nightmares. And a lot of them around here in Crawford County, they're gone. St. Helen had a township gone, they didn't have anybody to do now, so whatever these two ladies are doing, they know what they're doing, and that's the important thing that our books are so balanced, because they're coming out right, and we pass the audit every year, and so that's important. That the $10,000 or $11,000 we're going to be paying for the treasurer, we'd probably be paying a CPA to do the same thing or more. So that's all.
Okay, any more discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Edward,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes,
Shinnick,
Yes.
Stevo.
Yes.
Ready? Yeah. And Miller.
Yes. Okay, next item is village employee handbook.
Okay, every year we take a look at the village employee handbook. After going through that myself, nothing really stood out as being anything that recommended for any changes, but anyway, we have this up for review and to entertain a motion to approve it.
They get a motion to approve the village employee handbook.
I'll make that motion.
Got a first, can I get a second, please? I'll second that. First, second, any discussion? If not. Go on.
Shinnick,
Yes.
Ready? Yes. Bishop.
Yes,
Edward,
Yes.
Stevo,
Yes.
and Miller.
Yes. Next item will be village calendar, council, PDA, PC, cemetery, and 5 family.
The only change basically besides the dates, what the only change in calendars set up for this next year. When we have 5 family meetings, we don't have to have those by law, the village council does it. But the DDA and the planning commission has to have at least one public meeting a year. So what we decided to do when we're going through this RRC process to, again, offer more opportunities for public input, we put together these 5 family meetings and we have them twice a year. We have had pizza, sodas, donuts, they're not out in the corner of our signs, and we get 1 or 2 people. And so what I would like to do at our mornings with the manager meetings that we hold every month, we get a good dozen people, if not more there. Is to blend those 2 meetings together in April and October. So we'll move that time to 9 o'clock in the morning and basically go over the same information because a lot of people want to know what's going on with this and that. And so they actually give us quite a bit of input. And so the only big change in the calendars is that the time, normally our 5 family meetings are at 6 o'clock at night, and I like to move those to 9 a.m. where I know at least I'm gonna have a dozen people that enjoy our coffee and donuts.
What one's good?
April and October.
May I get a motion to approve the village calendar for the council, DDN, planning commission, cemetery, and 5 family?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the 2025 Village of West Town Village Council, Downtown Development Authority, Planning Commission, Cemetery Board, and the Plaque Committee.
Yeah, first, can I get a second one?
I'll second that.
Yeah, first, second, any discussion? If none, simple. All in favor, say aye. Okay. Next will be Village Reserve 2025 holidays.
What I do every year is when we put this list together, we go by what the county does and what the approved in the past. Nothing has been added to this list from last year. It's the same dates or and the same holidays that you had with last year. So this is just a change of dates on some of those. Basically.
Don't see my birthday down.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to accept the observed holidays for the Village of Roscommon?
I'll make a motion to approve the Village of Roscommon observed holidays as the.
Got a first, can I get a second, please? I'll second it. Got first, second, any discussion? If not, roll call.
Miller.
Yeah.
Ready, yes. Mitchell,
Yes,
Michael,
Yes.
Edward,
Yes.
Steele.
The next item is village permit fee review.
Okay, also, this is one of these annual tasks we have to do. I sit down with Jim Letts, our zoning and building administrator, and we go through the permit fees. And for 2025, we're making a recommendation that we not change our permit fees, keep everything the way it is. And we approve that for 2025.
May I get a motion to approve the Village of Roscommon permit fees as the consent table?
I make a motion to approve the Village of Roscommon.
I have a first, can I get a second, please? Also. Got a first and a second, any discussion?
That a question on the permit fees. We talked about the water connection fees. Is that part of this? Was that increase? Or is
No.
that something different?
That's all already approved. That's part of our water and sewer permits.
Okay. got it. Okay, that's all.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Ready, yes. Edward, yes. Mitchell,
yes,
Steele,
Yes.
Miller.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yes.
Okay, the next item is DDA 2025 proposed budget.
The DDA every year has to propose a budget to the village council for their approval. If you look at the 2024 estimated budget and then the actual, you can see both the estimated and the actual is more than what the 2025 budget is. They might say, well, you know, what's that? I don't know. Don't forget the DDA is also paying for that out of the 2024 budget. They're paying for the pavilion, and that's going to be probably $150,000. So that's a big difference between all the two companies. Does that kind.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the DDA budget? As presented?
I make a motion to approve the 2025 Roscommon DDA full budget.
Got a first, can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Got a first, second, any discussion? If not, roll call.
Mitchell,
yes,
Ready, yes. Michael,
Yes.
Edward,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Steele.
Okay, next item is the village zoning building administrator, Mrs. Bethel.
Okay, so I sent people some information regarding just some of the issues and oversights, that our current zoning administrator. The recent, permits and some older permits. So I just wanted to discuss those and come up with either a resolution or this is, have a discussion about these issues that keep coming up.
Okay.
Where do we want to start with issues? Mr. Letts. Yes. You're our zoning building administrator. Would you like to go into closed session with this, or would you like to leave it as an open meeting? If I included stuff. At this time, I'd like to move into, make a motion to move into closed session.
We usually finish off these other items and go into the closed session. So
I think the next thing.
Yeah. Ron's at the floor.
All right.
So we go to closed session, so.
okay. Yeah, there's nothing, well, we ought to give the public acknowledgement. Before we do that, that's public.
Before we go to closed session, we'll move on to number 9, public. Acknowledgement. 2 minutes per speaker. There's nothing? Okay. Can I get a motion to go into closed session? Make a motion that we move into closed session.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on it? No. Roll call, please.
People.
Yeah.
Mullen,
Yes.
Michael, yes, Keno,
Yes.
Owen, yes,
Well,
yes. Only second, yeah.
7:51. Okay, thank you guys for all coming. See you at the next meeting. Yes, please.
If anybody wants to return to watch closing, you can. Go in.
Oh, no, you're taking.
Thank you, Mr. Edward. Come on. So we might need